Hey everybody, this is Eric and Cindy, and we're coming to you from the kitchen.
Yes.
Eric cooked a nice dinner. Tell them about our dinner tonight.
Well, we had chicken wings in the air fryer tonight, and a baked potato, and that was it. So I didn't have to do a lot. A little preparation, half hour, and we're trying to educate ourselves to better eating.
Yes, try to lose some weight together. And so we planned like 4 or 5 nice dinners.
Yes. I went out shopping today and picked up everything for that. And tonight we're going to talk about some other things that we went to. Last night's concert, Luis Miguel. We saw at the argh Arena here in Palm Desert. And it was a fabulous occurrence.
Yes, it was. Well, actually, when did you get the tickets?
July 20th, to be precise.
Okay, so spur of the moment, we were at dinner that night, and I said that I noticed Luis Miguel was going to be in town, and I love him. He only sings in Spanish. I know it, but I have his albums. I play his music. I don't know a word of what he's saying. I cannot sing along, but I love his voice. And then when I saw his biography series on Netflix, it made me like him even more. So then I was so excited in my exuberance in telling Eric about Luis Miguel coming. And then Eric said, well, would you like to see him? And I was like, yes, but before I could say anything, Eric pulled his purse. He pulled his cell phone out and bought tickets. So right there on the spot, which turned out to kind of bite us in the butt a little bit, but we got the tickets, and it was several months ahead of time. So we've been talking about it, that it's going to be a great concert. It's going to be a fun night. And then...
So let me explain what happened.
Yes.
Okay, so I did not know this at the time, but I bought them from a third party, not Ticketmaster, from another company. And so when we went up to go in, they did not email me the electronic ticket with the barcode on it. I never got another email. And so we went up to the gate to get in. They said, sorry, you're going to have to go to Ticketmaster and get the real ticket.
Right, because they said, Eric had his phone ready, like, here's my receipt. And they said, well, that's not really a ticket. Okay, so...
Anyway, so we went up to the Ticketmaster and said, here, what's going on? So what happened was she goes, Ticketmaster was really great, actually, because
wonderful.
She said they were not, you did not buy them through us, but we will contact this third party and see if we can get a reaction from them to get that pulled over. So it took us about 45 minutes.
So here we are at the Luis Miguel concert. Eric bought tickets last July, and they're having problems. We think we may have been scammed on our tickets. And because Eric paid over $1,000 for these tickets, and it looks like something's wrong. So we've been at Ticketmaster window for a while. They've been really good at trying to help us, and I'm hoping that we're going to be able to get in. And if not, it's not the end of the world. So they're waiting for a code, they said. So hopefully we'll be able to get in before the show starts. There's still a lot of people standing out here. So I just hope, because we got really good seats. And I'm hoping that we can still get good seats. Because I'm just spoiled enough that I don't want to sit in the nosebleed section where you can't see anything. So, okay, you guys, say a little prayer for me.
She worked on my phone, gave me an app for Ticketmaster so I can buy tickets through them now. I probably paid too much for these tickets anyway.
Yeah,
and
a lot.
So anyway, so she fixed everything, got us the tickets, and we finally got in.
We got in to see Luis Miguel. We deserved
Thank God.
Thank goodness after some rigmarole. But we're excited, and the show should start soon.
Seated, and they were really nice. I love the seats.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very enjoyable performance. And Cindy has some video of that, which she's going to splice into our video tonight. And he is phenomenal. The band was phenomenal.
Great.
Yeah, so
absolutely.
It was actually worth the money.
Yeah.
I couldn't give him higher accolades. It was great.
Well, if you guys don't know Luis Miguel, he's basically from Mexico and a Mexican singer. And he just has a fabulous voice. But anybody that is Hispanic or Latino watching this, you guys know Luis Miguel.
He was born in Puerto Rico, and he's a dual citizen. He's an American citizen and I guess a Puerto Rican citizen. But it's a territory of the United States, so whatever. Anyway, and he had a mariachi band come out there about, 12?
14. I counted them.
14. Okay, so I guessed at 12, but 14, and they were incredible.
Yes.
The whole
thing
was super nice.
Yes, and in fact, when we walked in, they gave us these little bracelets, and Eric and I were like, "Well, what are these for?" And I said, "Oh, these are just bracelets so they know we've checked in, that we belong here." Well, no. As soon as the show started, our bracelets lit up, and so everybody how many people do you think were there?
I'm estimating that the arena holds 13,000 without the ice arena. Okay, so when they're playing hockey, there's 13,000 that can be seated in there, and then they had that full, and then the actual ice rink itself, where you would have hockey, was full of people. So I'm saying at least 2,000 more. I'm going to say at least 15,000 in there.
Yeah, it was like, well, it's an arena where they, like a big football arena or something.
No, it's hockey.
But hockey.
Yeah, it's a hockey arena.
Yeah, so I mean, it's huge. And so when everybody's wrist lights, so like sometimes they all lit up blue or red, and then the stage would light up that same color. It was so cool. So I'd never seen that. But I haven't been to a big concert like that in a long time.
Well, I've never even experienced anything like that myself.
Yeah. Now here comes my rant. And first of all, it's kind of late, and Eric and I are getting a little bit sleepy, but I wanted to make this video before I lost my. I wanted to still have the memory of the concert and all of that fresh in my mind, so I wanted to get this video up. But the other day, it's been a series of events in my life that have irritated me. The first series of events is that our economy is so bad right now, that everything is so darn expensive that I just can't get over the price of groceries. I can't get over the price of everything. Gasoline in California is how much?
I paid $6.09 for regular unleaded yesterday. Filled my car. I put $70 in it. I couldn't fill it up, and so and we're in Palm Springs. In Los Angeles, you add another $1.50 to that, so they're about $7.65, something like that. It's unfathomable. It's gone up 88 cents in the last 10 days.
And so, well, like Eric said, explain like, well, they already know, but like how the petroleum just drives so much of our economy.
Well, it drives, of course, the more it costs for diesel, the more it costs to transport stuff and everything else. And so what the government has done now, they've banned transportation of oil by train. So all the oil from Canada down to Houston has to be transported by another means, which adds to more expense to the fuel cost.
Okay, so we're going to stop there.
Yes.
So okay, that lays the context for why I'm so irritated.
Yes.
And the fact that, being a woman of a certain age and living alone, so I paid the gardener a couple months back to, I said, could I get more lights put in my backyard? And he said, sure. So he said, I have an electrician that will do that. And I was great. So the electrician came out, put in, I think, 5 more lights. So it looked so nice. And it was not cheap. So then my gardener, I was having a little bit of trouble with him because he would send 2 people over. They were here. Usually I was home while they were here. They were here. I used to clock them maybe 3 to 5 minutes. And they did what we call a blow and go. They got their blower, they blew the dead leaves, they chop, they left. Mm-hmm. Well, then when they left, like the bushes were not even, and lots of the stems were still higher than the other ones. And well, anyway, they have not done a very good job. So I go outside, I take pictures, I send it to the boss person of the company, the one that I met and that I said, yes, will you start doing my yard? He was like, sure. So then he says, oh, okay, I get it. And I'll have a talk with them. Well, so a couple times, too many, that happened. So I thought, ixnay to that. I found another person to come do my yard. And then I asked him if I could get the electrician's phone number so I could have him come fix the lights. Well, long story short, he never gave me the electrician's number. And so I hired a new gardener. Now I have to pay extra because they have to clean up the overgrowth from the other gardeners whose people did not do a very good job. And then now I have to hire an electrician to come redo the lights in my backyard instead of asking the other gentleman, would he please come and find out what could be wrong? So I'm irritated. I feel like I'm bleeding money between the lights in my backyard, the gardener situation, and then I went to get into my golf cart. Now, Eric was really good he kept my golf cart batteries full of water because Eric has a golf cart, and I have a golf cart.
Yes.
So tell him what you did. You went out there and...
Okay, so I went out and the water level in the batteries went down. So I went out and got a gallon of distilled water and refilled them up to a point. And I was, the last battery, it was more than a gallon of water went in these things. So anyway, it was a week or 2 later, I got another gallon, filled that one up. So when she went out to drive it, didn't have any juice in it.
The batteries were dead.
The batteries were dead.
Okay. So Eric's right that we called. Actually, you said it was the same guy that sold you batteries.
It could have been, yes.
To your golf cart.
Yeah.
And he said that they were Trojan. Eric told me to get Trojan batteries, that they were the best, the longest lasting, whatever. So of course they're the most expensive. And so I think you actually talked to him, and because okay, here's another thing that drives me crazy. As a single woman, oh yeah, my BMW, I have to talk about tires on that. Forgot about that one. So the golf cart guy says to me on the phone, well, do you have the blah, blah, blah voltage, or do you have the bleep, bleep, bleep voltage, or what, do you have the standard, do you have the not standard? And I'm like, well, what do I know? I don't know anything about golf cart batteries. So then I said, here, Eric, will you talk to the guy and answer the questions? So Eric did. So Eric finished the call, said to me, it's going to be X amount of dollars. And I was like, well, I've got to do it if I want to drive my golf cart. So I said, yeah, tell him to come out. So we made the appointment. He came out. So he comes out, and first of all, I was verklempt because he was supposed to be here at 3:30. And I had Kathy coming at 3:30 to do the floral arrangement video. Well, he called and said, I happen to be near you. And I know I'm early. It was about 12 o'clock. And he said, I could be there by 12:15. And I was like, fine. So thinking, fine, no big deal. Well, it totally set my time schedule off for that day. But he came over, and, I opened up the garage, and he said, can you back the golf cart out? And I said, well, no, because batteries doesn't run. So then he realized by looking at the golf cart that it was easy to he wanted to get the cart closer to his van. So then he opened it, and he started taking out I stood there for a minute, and he started taking out the batteries. And he goes, oh, these don't look that, oh no, he didn't say anything yet. And so then he said, it's going to take me about 20 minutes, kind of like looked at me like, you don't have to stand here. So I was like, okay, fine. Call me. I'm in the house. Knock on the door if you need something. So then he called and said, okay, I'm done. And I was like, okay, I'll be right out. So I went out, and he said, your batteries didn't look in that bad of shape. And I was like, oh, okay. I don't know what they're supposed to look like. So then he said, let's see what happened. I was supposed to, turn on, I plugged in the battery charger into the golf cart, and the man said, Joe says, now the battery charger thing, what's that thing? The monitor.
The voltage regulator.
It's going to flip over to high because these are new batteries, but it takes a minute for it to read each other, and then it'll flip over. So we stood there, we waited. Nothing happened. So I said, you know what? Something's wrong with this battery charger upper. And he goes, well, could be. He was like, he's like rolling up his cords and throw them in his van. And once again, I'm thinking, what the hell's going on? What's going on with my new batteries? And trust me, it was expensive. So I was thinking, I just spent an arm and a leg on batteries now, and now something else is wrong. So then that's when he said, well, is the charger plugged in? And I said, well, of course it is. Well, it wasn't. So like Eric said, the actual plug outlet was behind a piece of furniture, but the cord was sitting there just like always. I didn't know Eric had unplugged the golf cart.
I didn't.
Yes, you did. And so that's why.
That was the argument.
Yes, that's the argument.
I didn't touch it.
I said, why did you have to okay, well, wait a minute. So then Joe goes, well, go check your breaker. So I'm thinking, it's okay, sweetheart. So I'm thinking, go check my breaker. I can't even open my breaker. So I'm like, oh, okay. So once again, single woman. I act like I'm helpless. I'm not helpless, but it was like he was just asking me too many technical questions. So I went over to I did open up. It took me a while to open because the door was stuck. Finally flew it open. Well, I'm looking through all those little clip things, and I did see one clip. Of course, they're labeled, but they're, garage right side, garage left side, garage window, whatever. So do I stand behind the garage and go, which side's right, which side's left, which outlet are they talking about? But I did see one little switch that was like a half an inch off kilter. So I thought, okay, well, so I shot that one over, went back, and sure shooting, that's what the problem was. So I so then happened to be a little lamp sitting there. So I turned the lamp on, it went on. We waited a while, then the battery charger upper needle went like that. So yeah, okay, that was good. So I said to Joe, I said, you said my batteries didn't look so bad when you first took them out. So are those batteries still good? But I said, come change my batteries. But really they're still good only because my charger has been unplugged. And he goes, well, no, he was vague. So then I got ticked because I thought, son of a gun, I just spent all this money on new batteries and I didn't even need them. So I said, now, Joe, you can tell me, are my old batteries still good? Because if they are, I would like them back. If I have to pay you a little bit because you've done this job, of course. And he said, oh, no, we don't give the batteries back. And I said, well, if they're good, what are you going to do with them? Are you going to sell them? And I would never sell a used battery. And then he went off on that. So I thought, well, what do I know? I just know that I feel like I got taken. I feel like, number one, I was ticked off at Eric. And then Eric goes, I didn't unplug it. Cindy, I didn't have anything to do with that. And I said, okay, if you didn't unplug it and you were out there 2 times fiddle farting around with my batteries, putting water in them, and you didn't notice that it was unplugged, and then I'm telling you my batteries are dead, and I think you should have noticed that they're dead because, Cindy, nothing's plugged in out there. So, okay, that irritated me. Then, and of course I screamed at him. He was at his own house, but I was like, I can't believe. Well, anyway. Okay, then the other thing was my BMW, my car, which I just bought 4 new tires for. I think I did a video on it. Well, it showed I had a low air. So Eric was nice enough a while ago, and he put air in my tire for me. Took it out to the tire, got air in it. Well, the dashboard still read low tire. So I thought, so Eric said, you know what? It's not low because I just put air in it. So you can drive with, don't worry about it. It's fine. Well, then later on, and that light never showed that it had changed. And it always showed low tire. So then a week or so ago, I got 4 low tires and an emergency light came on. Call your roadside assistance, blah, blah, blah. Use this emergency number. Do you have the BMW tire changer in the back of your car? And I'm driving, I'm thinking, oh my God. And then I know I do have run flat tires. So I know that they will run for 50 miles after you get the warning sign. Do not exceed 50 miles an hour. When you come to a stop, be very careful stopping. So I'm totally freaked out. So finally I get back home. I call Eric or whatever, and I'm like, I've got 4 bad tires now, not just 1. Now I have 4, and help. And so Eric was like, well, I just filled that tire up. So everything else seemed to be fine. So then Eric came over the next day or whatever, and looked at the car. And he said, I really think there is a misfire communication between the sensor and the tires, because your tires are fine, but the sensor's telling you they're not fine. So I was like, oh, great. So I called BMW. It was more than just go fill your tires with air. Eric said, no, I think there's a problem, a communication problem.
Right. Yes, it's computer issue.
Okay, so then you were gone, but I called BMW to get my car in to have the air tire checked and the little sign and the computer reading the tires. So they say to me, keep in mind, this is one of the problems of being a single woman that's trying to deal with something that the man should be doing. So in my mind,
of course.
So I call. Can I speak to the service desk? Well, what's the problem? So I tell this guy the problem. I've got 4 tires. 1 was out. Then my friend fixed it, and then now I've got 4. And he says he doesn't think that the communication, the computer is telling me the tires are flat when they're really not. And he goes, well, let me contact Sandy in in the service department let her know what's going on. So I'm like, okay, great. So then he comes back. So in other words, I can't talk to Sandy directly. I have to go through this one guy, tell him everything. Then he calls Sandy at her desk, and Sandy calls him back. Then he calls me back. So then they say, this was the conversation. Well, now, exactly what's wrong with the communication computer issue? And I said, well, I don't know. That's why I need to bring it in. So they were like, let me tell Sandy. So so then they said, can you tell us how there was some kind of
Low battery.
am I still on? Yeah. There was some kind of a technical thing. I had to go out to my car. I had to turn my car on, of course, read to them what was on my dashboard, what was on my warning sign, what was on I had to read everything. Well, now did you get the icon of the blah, blah, believe? Or did you get the other icon of the blah, blah, blah? Which one did you get? I don't know. What's the icon look like for the blah, blah, believe? Let me call Sandy and ask her. It's a nightmare. So finally, after being out there in the hot garage, I just, the moral of the story was they said, I think everything's fine. Just go to a tire place, get air in your tires, and ask the person that put air in your tires to press the reset button. I said, I will certainly do that. Now, can you tell me exactly where the reset button is? Well, let me call Sandy.
Of course they don't know.
So bottom line, they're like, well, the person that puts the air in the tires will probably be able to figure it out. At this point, I didn't care. So I was like, okay, fine. So we hung up. So bottom line, between my car, my lights in my backyard, my gardener, my golf cart, I felt like, it's so just hard. They ask you questions, what voltage this, what graphic icon that, whatever. I'm like, I don't know. So then I got mad at him over it.
Yes, of course. I've got to take the blame. What else am I going to do? I pulled the plug.
So there you go. So that's my rant
I had
for
to
the
laugh
evening.
about it. Well, yeah, it wasn't funny at the time, but it works out. You got to laugh at everything. That's just life.
Oh, and then I got mad at Eric because I called him when I said, what was it? Oh, about the golf cart guy. And I said, I said, Eric, I probably bought all these new batteries when I didn't even need to. And he starts laughing. And so then I really got mad. And I said, I cannot, I said, I cannot talk. I cannot believe
okay,
you're laughing.
let me explain something to the audience out here. When you do a battery, you have to exchange your old batteries for the new battery. It's called battery exchange. Otherwise, they call it a core charge. So if you don't, and they do rebuild old batteries. And so that's what I told her, that they take the old batteries to recycle them, or so you don't have to pay a core charge, which could add up to $20, $30 per battery. But
you mean the used batteries?
The used
not
batteries,
my
correct. And you have to dispose them, even if they're shot, they have to be disposed of properly. So you don't want to deal with that anyway. Holding batteries in your garage is not the proper thing to do in the first place.
So anyway, our light came on that my phone is about to die. But so that's,
and so are we.
That's our, yeah. So that's our video for tonight. But I've got some other good stuff to add to it. So P.S. We love you. Mwah. Until our next. They didn't see.
Subscribe.
Yes, please subscribe.
Yes, we need subscribers.
Yes.
We need another 20 or 30,000, please.
Please. Bye, you guys.
Have a good one.